Hey folks, welcome back. Now in this video I just actually want to share some tips on editing content within a library page. Most of the library components that we have, and I'll show you here's an example, the info box carousel and of course the testimonial slider here, they all have very similar elements. They have titles, paragraphs, images, links, buttons. All those components, I'm just going to show you a couple tips and tricks to making it a little bit easier to edit in your web editor. Let's just go over to our Expression Web and we'll open up the library folder, our components, and we'll use the let's use the testimonial slider here to start with. We'll just expand that and open up the testimonial slider HTML page, switch over to design view. Okay, now first thing you'll notice is this does not look anything like your testimonial slider that's displayed within the page. And the reason for that is because the slider uses some JavaScript and whatnot, and it's very much impossible to edit a component where half the content is hidden off the page and scrolls into view later on. It just doesn't make sense to try and do that in a design window. It just doesn't work. So what we've done is we've removed a lot of the styling to make it very straightforward in terms of editing within the design window here, because this is where you want to treat the component a little bit more like a text editor or maybe a Word document than actually trying to rearrange things in the design window to get it the way you want it to look. With that said, let's take a look at some of the core components here. We have the title, we have a paragraph of text, we have a picture, and we have a link. So these are basically the four of the five core components, the other one being a button. And this is just a little trick that I use in terms of editing the content. When I open up my page, instead of just swiping across with my my mouse and starting to type in something new, I just sort of click anywhere within the content that I want to update. Like for example, I just put my cursor on the word clients. I go to my quick tag selector bar here and I find the first thing that's being listed. In this case it's an H2 tag, so I just click that. Then I type in my new heading. This is my new heading. By first of all just sort of clicking somewhere within your existing piece of text and then selecting the entire tag, you're guaranteed you're not going to wipe something off the page that has some styled level of style to it. And in this particular component, we've styled the heading with an H2 tag and the content within a paragraph tag, and then we of course have the link text right here, which is styled by a testimonials link style, and we have a picture here. So of course, by following the sort of simple process of click, select, this is my new paragraph, you're not going to lose any of the styling once the component is actually rendered in your page. Okay, so that's just a couple of tips for editing existing text. When it comes to changing pictures, use the tools that are already in your editor. For example, if I see a picture here, if I right click on the picture, or there'll be a picture properties, and typically I just have to double click on the picture to activate the picture properties window. From here I can hit the browse button and I can go to any folder in my site and locate a new picture. For example, I could go into my site, I can go into my images folder, find another image in here if I had one. I'll just use this as an example, and I'll click open and OK, and there's my new picture right there. Typically when you're replacing images in a page, you want to make sure that the image that you're replacing is the same size as the existing image. We actually cover that in a little bit of detail in another tutorial. But I'll just quickly show you how to determine your image size so when you replace it in your library page that it looks exactly the same as the original in terms of dimensions, is if you once again double click on the image to open up the appearance or the picture properties tab, click on the appearance tab and it will tell you the width and the height of the actual image. Just like that. So when you're replacing your image, make sure that you would in this case replace it with an image that's 60 pixels tall or wide and 60 pixels in height, or 60 pixels tall, so 60 by 60, right? And that's really as hard as it is to replace an image. Just bang, double click, picture properties, great, you've got a browse button. You need to find out how big the image is, you switch to appearance. If you want to add an alt tag, just update the alt tag that's already there. If you want to link the picture to somewhere in your site, there's a hyperlink excuse me, right here. You just click on browse and you can browse to anywhere in your site and link that picture. Like we already link it by default by using the pound sign, which is just a dummy link, but if you actually want to link that image to another page in your site, you can all do it from within the Picture Properties panel. And last but not least, whenever you see text that's highlighted in blue in the library component page, just right-click on the blue text, select Hyperlink Properties. Up top, you'll find the text to display, and then of course if you want to link that text to a page in your site, that's where you can scroll through once again and link it to a specific page. As it is, we just link to a dummy page. If I just double click on the link, it'll right down here at the bottom of my window, it shows me where its default link is. The pound sign indicates that it's just a dummy link, a placeholder link, waiting for you to actually link to a specific page if you want to. If you don't want to link the text to a specific page and you just want it linked to sort of a dummy page so it shows up as a link, you can just leave it the way it is, or you can use the hyperlink properties and just manually pop that back in when you've updated your text to display.